Welcome to Fearless Friday, your day to reclaim your weekend and your life. A few weeks ago, I made a video called Heart versus Ego, Who Will Win? And in this video, I spoke about how when we live from a heart space, we live with a sense of peace and purpose, and we really get into the flow of life. And with that, and in that flow, we can really live with a sense of clarity. And what happens when ego starts to come in and negate what our heart says, the ego says, no, you don't want to do that. That's when we get into a place of chaos and clutter. And so this week's topic is going to be from clarity to chaos and back again. So many times in life, when we live via our heart space, things go smoothly and relationships go well and our jobs go well and everything just seems to flow quite nicely. Until all of a sudden, we let ego start to tell us, well, you should be doing this and you should be doing this. And so we start to do things that we think we should do instead of what we really feel we want to do. And many times what happens is we start to get all these random things kind of piled on us energetically and physically, and we start to overextend ourselves and we start to give more than what we're getting back from relationships and just from life in general. So this week, I'd like for you to think about something in your life that feels chaotic, and then also something in your life that you feel really clear about. And ask yourself, how am I living my life in this facet of my life? How, in the area of your life where it feels very chaotic, notice who's in charge, your heart or your ego. Notice in the areas of your life where you're very clear, notice who's in charge, your heart or your ego. Many times when we have clarity in one part of our life and chaos in another part, we tend to focus on what we're very clear in because this chaotic part of our life is chaotic, and so we don't really want to think about it. And so then ego starts to come in and say, well, you have to take care of this, this, and this in this part of our life. In this part of our life, we very much feel out what it is that we're doing, and it just feels right. The key is to have all aspects of your life in harmony, in clarity. And you know, this past week I actually had a couple of very tumultuous days that were very chaotic and very cluttered, and it wasn't until I actually sat myself down and asked myself, what am I choosing to look at in this situation with my ego instead of with my heart? And when I started looking at that situation with my heart, I saw that I had some preconceived notions about how I think or how I thought I should be approaching these certain situations. And when I started to look at it from a heart space, I started to realize that it was a very cluttered situation and I could easily take out certain things of that situation that didn't really need to be there. Certain ways of thinking and certain actions that I was doing and over-giving and overextending of myself. And once I realized that I really could just pull in my energy a little bit and not give so much and then stop doing other things, that allowed me to really see the situation for what it is and what it was, and really gain so much clarity on it. And when you live your life and evaluate your life from your heart space, that's when you can start to go from a place of chaos to clarity. Now I know sometimes thinking, well, my entire life cannot clearly be in clarity 100% of the time, but the key is to realize when you have chaos going on, when you have cluttered situations going on, it's okay to stop and regroup, whether that's every day, every week, or every month. But the key is to be consciously aware when things start to go awry, and then you can stop yourself and say, okay, wait a minute, who's in charge, my ego or my heart? So this week, I challenge you to look at your relationships, look at your life, and look at those things in your life that are very clear for you, and also those things that are very chaotic. And ask yourself, who's in charge in those chaotic situations? Is it ego or is it your heart? So this week's challenge is to look at your life with your heart and start to declutter those things that really don't need to be there. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this week's Fearlessly Inspired video. If you have, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends on Facebook and Twitter, leave a comment below, subscribe to my channel, and until then, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.